Good evening, everyone. Happy December 4th. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my double advent calendar unveilings project. I'll start with my chocolate advent calendar because that seems to be a fan favorite. So let's just open this up here. We've got my Purdy's chocolate calendar here, and we're gonna look for number 4. Here we go. Oh, it is a little chocolate bell. Yummy. So I've actually had some really good luck with the chocolate so far. I've had solid milk chocolate and caramel milk chocolate, which I've been really happy about. No dark chocolate yet. I'm kind of hoping I don't get any dark chocolate because I'm not a huge dark chocolate fan. So been very pleased with the selection so far. And I'm also very happy about my short story advent calendar selection so far. As you can tell, I still have my cold, so there's going to be some snuffles throughout this video. I think Smokey and Pearl might be around here. Oh, Smokey's hiding underneath the Christmas tree. Smokey, come out so everyone can see you. They're really excited about the tree being put up, just like I am, so hopefully I'll be able to get a shot of her for you. So number 4 was called Kings. And the author, and I know I'm going to mispronounce this, the author's name is Hasanthika Saracena, and I'm sure it sounds beautiful when pronounced correctly, so I apologize for that. But this little work of fiction is historical fiction, and it actually talks about the real-life famous author D.H. Lawrence, who wrote the book, I believe it was called Lady Chatterley's Lover. And when it was published at the beginning of the 20th century, it was known as a very scandalous, kind of smutty read. But, so anyways, this story is kind of a snapshot of Lawrence's life, and I'm not too familiar with D.H. Lawrence and his biography, so I'm not sure how accurate this was. But it was a really beautiful kind of picture into this short time in his life when he visited Sri Lanka with his wife to escape Britain shortly after the First World War. And he's not really enjoying it there. It's made his tuberculosis worse, which seems kind of surprising, but so he's not feeling well. And he seems to be really anxious about the jungle surrounding him, and he speaks a lot about kind of it closing in on him, and I think that's part of the time period as well. You know, back then jungles were sort of seen as something that needed to be conquered and kept back rather than explored and enjoyed the way we tend to look at them these days. So it's kind of got this colonialist vein running through the story, which I found really interesting. And there's some races in there as well, which, you know, is sadly common for that time, but as a modern day reader, it is kind of difficult to read, and it's very cringeworthy. You know, in general, Lawrence's character, he is the center point of the story, and I think the author really makes the effort to show that he was struggling with a lot of things. There's a flashback where he is basically treated very badly by an army doctor when he's being exempt from military life because of his tuberculosis. But there's some, you know, Lawrence himself seems like a very selfish and kind of whiny character, so I didn't have a lot of empathy for him, and I'm not sure if that was the intention of the author or whether they were hoping we would connect with him a little bit more. I'm not sure. But the story itself, I'd say the high points for me were probably the descriptions of like the lush environment that he was experiencing in Sri Lanka, and his, you know, really short interactions with his wife, Frida. She seems really lovely. Apparently she was German, which was one of the reasons why he wasn't treated so well back in Britain either. So that was an interesting little side note. So yeah, I think, you know, again, I've just been really happy with the breadth of stories that I've found in the calendar so far. I mean, it's only day 4, but I feel like I've read so many different things already, which has gotten me really excited for what's coming up. And you know, I'm used to reading short story collections by the same author, and I find when you're used to that, the stories can sometimes seem a little bit repetitive, or they get kind of mixed up in your mind because they can be very similar. But this is definitely not the case with this advent calendar. Everything has been so different and so interesting in its own way. So I'm really excited to see what the next 21 days has in store for us. So I don't know, Smokey's gonna come out. No, she's happily perched behind the presents. So thank you again for following along with me, and I will speak with you tomorrow on December 5th. Night night.